In desperation, I went to work in another country. My wife, Everly, did not come with me, promising to remain faithful to me. I left her to look after the house, hoping she would handle it well. But, as drivers often joke, never trust your wife or the brakes. I was born in a village where life was not easy. I had no choice but to look for a livelihood elsewhere. This is how foreign work appeared. Dylan, my housemate, went there on a whim and returned with pockets full of cash. He kindly checked to see if there were any vacancies for me, and before I knew it, the plane ticket was in my hands. I didn't bring my wife Everly with me. Someone had to watch over the house, and I planned to sell it eventually, so we could move closer to my new job. Everly's a good woman, but she's a bit of a dreamer. People like her, they say, have a bullet in their head. She promised me everything would be fine, so I didn't worry. You go on ahead, Ethan. I'll keep the house safe and feed the bird. Don't forget to send money for food when you can. Things were going well. I quickly got used to my new job, shifts, 6 days a week. In the first 6 months, I'd earned several $100,000. I sent $5,000 to Everly every month. For our region, this is good money. There is enough for food for everything that the soul wants. Then a letter came from my mother. She wrote that Everly led a wild lifestyle. Apparently, James was in our house all the time. It was disturbing. James and I used to work together, repairing machinery in the garage on the farm. We even went to school together. I wouldn't say we were close friends, but we were good mates. Even so, I decided to delay my vacation and work for another 6 months. I wrote to Everly, telling her I knew about her relationship with James. Her response was a flood of tears, claiming everything had been misunderstood. James just came to fix the sagging gate. There's no one around, and I couldn't do it myself. I just gave him a bottle of good whiskey. Everly begged me to keep the $5,000 and come back as soon as possible to make sure everything was all right. To be honest, I didn't fully believe my wife, but I decided to consult with my old friend Jackson. Jackson wasted no time and told me everything. It turns out that Everly slept with at least 2 neighbours. Now it seemed that my house had turned into a den of drunkenness and debauchery. A year after leaving, I finally decided to return to my village. It's time to sort out this mess and end this nonsense once and for all. I got out of the car and went straight to my mom's house. Ethan, you need to stay away from her. Everly was always nothing but trouble. Now she's broken up with James. After you stopped sending money, she moved in with someone else. My mom tried to comfort me. You'll find a proper woman, don't worry. Hudson lived his life contentedly, and it was said that he was engaged in financial fraud, so he moved away from the cities. I stepped inside my house. It was empty. The place was in shambles, like a hurricane had blown through. Everly hadn't bothered to clean up the empty bottles and cans scattered around. Even the bird was gone. She'd cooked it up for herself and her drinking buddies. I've been puzzling over my thoughts for a long time. Maybe I should have taken her with me. Maybe I could get her a job in the kitchen, looking after her. But on the other hand, there is an old saying, a pig will always find dirt. Everly turned our house into a haven for her new life. Hudson bought it from us and moved back to the city. When I arrived, she didn't even greet me, and we immediately started arguing. Tell me, Everly, how could you do this to me? Without missing a beat, Everly responded coldly. What did you expect, dear? You ran away. It's been 6 months, as you promised, and you still haven't returned. You stopped sending money. How was I supposed to survive? James helped me make ends meet, kept me warm. And yes, I slept with him, and now I'm dating Hudson for a reason. Now get out of here. You're nothing to me now." She started yelling at me, and the smell of alcohol was thick on her breath. I went to talk to Hudson about everything, hoping to settle the score. But when I found him, his face turned purple, and his eyes were closed. I rushed to get a doctor, but by the time I returned with the village medic, Hudson no longer needed any help. He woke up and ran away. So Everly and I parted ways, and I returned to my place of work. I bought a small apartment there and moved my elderly mother to my place. As for my ex-wife, she stayed with Hudson. Her so-called happiness did not last long. The farm went bankrupt. Everly is struggling to make ends meet right now. Whenever she manages to scrape together some money, she spends it on booze.